Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Paranormal Brew. I am your host, Taryn, and tonight I have a very good friend of mine. I know I say that a lot, but a lot of people I have on are very good friends of mine, um, Larry Eissler. And Larry, if you guys don't know, Larry is an award-winning filmmaker, author, and historian featured on the 44th Annual Telly Award-winning series, Expedition Entity. Specializing in the lesser-known hauntings of the American Midwest, Larry serves as a co-founder of From Ashes to Echoes Paranormal, where he blends historical research with cinematic storytelling. He is currently directing several high-profile projects, including, I hope I don't mess any of this up. We are going to talk about some of this stuff, but including the Séance, a documentary exploring this is what I was worried about messing up, Watseka Wonder. Larry can correct me if I was wrong with that. At the historic Roff House with Neal Gibbons and psychic medium DeEtte Ranae. If I mess any of this up, Larry, just tell me. Also, the Séance, Bloodlines, a follow-up documentary to the first Séance conducted at the historic Roff House with Neal Gibbons and psychic medium DeEtte Ranae returning. Also, Mark of the Trinity, a deep dive into the mysteries of the Jericho Haunted Trinity. Never heard about that, so I'm looking forward to talking about that one. Psychic Speedrun, an episodic series featuring medium DeEtte Ranae, and I hope I'm saying her name right. And then Ghost Clips and Chill, a collaborative series with paranormal investigator Brittany Bickett. Oh my God, Brittany Bickett. Which I have seen some of their stuff floating around on social media. So I'm actually looking forward to hearing a little bit about that stuff. So without further ado, I am going to bring on my wonderful guest once I get up onto YouTube here for myself so I can, monitor comments and this and that and everywhere. So let me bring my wonderful guest in.
Hi.
What did I mess up? Tell me.
Oh, the only thing you did was Watseka.
Did I mess that up?
I think you said Watseka.
It's Watseka.
Watseka. Yes. But everything else I think was except for Bickett, which you corrected right away.
Yeah. It was because of the Brittany, you know what I mean? I said Brittany Brickett and I meant Bickett, I know.
Yeah. Everything else was good though. So
awesome. So thank you for joining me and everybody that's watching right now. I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Yvette, thank you so much for joining us. Dark Echoes Paranormal, thank you. Destination Spooky, hello there. Kimberly, one of my peaches, hey. And then Dark Echo said hi again, hi. And then Destination Spooky said, okay. So I just wanted to just give a shout out to everybody really quick. Before we get into all this fun, good stuff that I'm really looking forward to learning about. And
I have a lot. I'm doing a lot.
You are doing a lot. I literally, like, I say this all the time. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, that do the filming and the editing and all the all the investigating. I mean, like me and the Peaches, we get a good, I would say 5 to 6 investigations out of the year. Maybe 1 or 2 more if we're lucky, right? I do my podcast weekly, you know, like, and there's no editing, there's no recording, there's no nothing. And even with our investigations, it's all raw. Like we don't edit that. We're not professional, nothing. So, and it's a lot of work, even just that, like getting,
Can be.
and I'm not doing like, I'm not even doing 1% of what you're doing.
Well, I can say that not everything that I'm doing, at least for this year, is paranormal.
Right.
So there are other things that I'm doing. For example, I'm doing a short documentary about cosplay.
Oh.
The Chicago cosplay scene. I went and did a bunch of B-roll at some of the conventions. Did an interview with one of the cosplay artists.
I know somebody that's really, 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 really good at cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll shoot you her name.
Yeah, they might get a kick out of the doc.
Yeah, I'll shoot you her name. She's fantastic. She used to be called the Scream Queen. She was in a couple horror flicks.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yes. So I will shoot you her name because she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You look at her stuff up on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and she does like duets with people, and I mean all kinds of stuff. So she's really good. But anyways,
some of the people that do those things, I'm just like, how did you make that? Because I know you made that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I asked her one time? I said, "Do you dye your hair?" And she laughed. You know, but they're wigs, but they look so.
Yep.
Everything looks so real.
Yeah, know? Like crazy quality wigs.
Yeah, yeah, she's amazing. All right, so enough about that. So that sounds interesting, though.
Yeah, it's not the norm that I do. I was asked to come in and do it, and I live in the Chicago area, so we basically just focused on the Chicago conventions, and there's plenty of material to pick from. So I think it came up pretty well. So it's nice to do things out of your wheelhouse every once in a while.
Yeah, and we don't do anything normal, so you know.
So yeah. So yeah, and Jack Chavez, who's from Chicago, yeah, I'm friends with him. Yeah. But outside of that, though, you know, most of my things are paranormal, but and I can't say much about it. I do have a UFO doc in the works for April. Nice. So we're going to be doing some interviews with some very well-known names in the UFO community about a very specific topic in UFO history. And we're deep diving and getting to the bottom of this entire topic as best we can, all in one day, because that's all I have these guys for is one day.
Oh, wow.
So
that's awesome.
But I've never done UFO, so it's like, okay, this is new. No, I'm into this.
Cool. I had somebody that was from MUFON on at one point. Mm-hmm. And you know, that was when I first started to, like, you know, get out of just ghosties. You know what I mean? I never thought anybody from MUFON would talk, because they just seem so secretive and so, like, you know. Yeah. And she came on. I was like, all right, let's do this. You know,
MUFON can be difficult to work with sometimes.
Yeah, but she's great.
Because sometimes they want to endorse things and sometimes they don't want to endorse things. And it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I guess I fall on this side of the fence.
Yes. So that'll be cool. So, all right. So we have a cosplay thing going on. We have a UFO thing going on.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the year is still something we're in the process of putting together. It is a deep historical dive on a location that a friend of mine owns and just restored, way down in the deep south, where we're going to cover the entire history of the property and then try to bring more of the story forth through investigation.
That's awesome. I like that.
So that one will be a little more of a history bend, but I like history. So
I do too. That's one of my most favorite things to do when I get to a location is walk around and tell me the history. Give me the meats and the bones of the place. I want to know. And I love a meaty meaty, historic story. I love it. When there's
Well,
layers.
this one is going to be meaty. We'll say that. It's like dinosaur thigh bone meaty. Like it's big.
Oh,
It's got some
I love
history.
it. I love it. And yeah,
So
go ahead.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I'm not as excited because it's down south and it's like humidity is going to be like 500%. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but it's
So
but
there's
the
challenges.
things we do for the things we love, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I mean,
absolutely.
I freeze to death, and I'll go sit in a place in the middle of winter with a heater. You know what I mean? Like, just because I love to investigate. Do I prefer it? No, I hate the cold. I hate the freezing weather, but I'll do it if I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's the price.
A lot of times I like trying to keep in temperate weather because, much like your glasses, when you go from, hot and cold and back and forth, they fog up. Camera lenses do that too.
Oh, good point.
And sometimes it's not an easy to clean area of the lens, and you just need to wait for it to unfog and then clean it. And it's like, okay, guys, we need to wait for 10 minutes because the temperature's obstinate. So there are challenges, but I'm still looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good project.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what really quick before we move on to the other ones, like I know cosplay is like, how did you decide to do the cosplay? Did somebody reach out to you and say, "Hey, can you do a documentary about this?" Or were you Oh, okay.
So I work with a media company in Chicago. They're called Tribe 3 Productions, and they're in charge of the paranormal side of Days of the Dead for Chicago. So I started working with them, and they also have a cosplay component. So they have a cosplay team that they sponsor, and they go out and make appearances and all this stuff. And they had just brought this new girl onto their team. Her name's Leah, and she's a fantastic cosplay model, artist, whatever you want to call them. And he came to me and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing a cosplay doc?" And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. I'd never done it before. Hi, Brandy. Never done it before. So I was like, let's do cosplay, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, once you've done like documentaries, really the topic doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
They're all very cookie cutter. It's just the story is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I did a short doc at the end of 24 about Days of the Dead, about the convention. So the story for that one was, how great it is to be a part of the community, how very heartfelt stuff. It's the same format for this doc though, but it's instead about how, being a part of the cosplay community, brought them to having friends they never thought they'd have, being a part of a community, being an outlet for them creatively. But for the most part, it's all the same thing. Interviews, B-roll, stock footage, So, I've kind of learned I can do anything really as long as I'm interested in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that you said like it's just like it's a different story. It's a different and you're in the paranormal field, like you are bringing different avenues and different niches into the paranormal as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I think that's also a good thing.
And that's where all the other projects take their part. Because the ones I've talked about, either they're not paranormal or they're paranormal adjacent, we'll call it, right? UFOs and whatnot. The Séance, which is the one that we filmed in 2024, it's the first one. That one is done. We're just waiting for film festivals to finish. Hey, James. Film festivals to finish, and then we seek distribution. So that one's ready. That one's kind of a wild story. And it's about the Watseka Wonder. Have you ever heard the story of the Watseka Wonder?
I did not. That's why I'm excited. Let's go.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna shorten the story to be as accurate and as short as possible.
Okay.
So in the mid 1800s, there was this very young woman, approximately 17 years old, who was exhibiting weird symptoms.
Okay.
She was having fits that today we'd probably call more like epileptic seizures. But she was having fits. She was speaking in tongues. She was bloodletting. And a lot of things that led to her unfortunately being committed to an asylum. And as we know from the mid 1800s, once you go to an asylum, it's never good.
Right.
Unfortunately, this asylum that she was in, it had all the bad things you don't want to have, including the crib beds that like lock you into place. Like they had that too. And it's not completely known whether she died in the asylum or died shortly after getting home from the asylum, but unfortunately, she did pass away.
Aw.
Shortly after she passed away, at some point in time, her father, Asa Roff, and her mother, Dorothy Roff, became devout spiritualists because the spiritualist movement was only a few decades prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was starting to pick up speed and people were really starting to get into it. And that's where like your old timey photos of people doing seances and stuff, that's the spiritualist movement,
And
right?
the ectoplasm and all that stuff.
100%. Yeah. Like that one movie where the kid's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great movie. So, they're getting into spiritualism. 14 years approximately after Mary Roff dies, a young woman by the name of Larancy Venom in the same exact town started to exhibit the same symptoms, the same fits, the same tongues, and all this other stuff. But, she was a little bit earlier on. So, and in my opinion, they probably caught it before it got too bad.
Okay.
So Asa gets word of Larancy's condition and basically goes over to the Venom house and wants to talk and speak with Larancy and is now able to recognize that what's happening to Larancy not only happened to his daughter Mary, but also more than likely has a spiritual element to it because he's a spiritualist now, right? So everything's spiritual. I don't know how, it's not documented, but somehow this man convinced the Venoms to allow Larancy to live in his house instead of being sent to an asylum. And, outside looking in, legitimately, that probably saved her life.
Right.
Because asylums are not good places.
Right.
So, during the course of...
Maybe they do that because what happened to their own daughter. They don't...
What's that?
Maybe they were like, don't let what happened to our daughter happen to your daughter. You like, you know what I mean? Like, we're on the spiritual thing. We can help her. You know what I mean? I can see kind of like, them saying like, send her here. We'll help. Yeah. Well, we can do it.
I definitely think there was a guilt component in it as well.
Yeah.
Like feeling guilty about letting their daughter go to an asylum and then watching her deteriorate, knowing I'm not going to let somebody else do that.
Right.
So through the course of speaking with Larancy, Asa Roff brings in a doctor, and we're going to use these for doctor.
Okay.
He's a hypnotist. His name is C.W. Stevens. And Stevens is also the person that wrote the account of the story. Now, Stevens is also a spiritualist. So during the course of hypnotizing Larancy, she starts speaking as if she's multiple spirits. Men, women, young, old, just all these different spirits are coming through her until finally the final spirit that comes through her looks down at her arms and goes, "These aren't my arms." Come to find out, that last spirit was Mary Roff. Oh. And the reason she said that was because Mary Roff was a bloodletter. So she had marks all over her arms, but Larancy didn't. Gotcha. And then through the course of these conversations, Larancy knew things that Larancy should not have known, but Mary would have. Okay. She knew people that the Roffs knew that Larancy didn't know. She knew stories of people in the Roff family. There are accounts of her supposedly being able to play the piano when Larancy didn't know how to play the piano, and playing a song that Mary played very well. And the one that was kind of the weirdest, I think, is they could blindfold Larancy, and she could flip through a box of postcards and pull out the name that somebody requested her to pull out while blindfolded.
Ooh, that's weird.
As if she had a third eye. So all this is going on, Lorenzi's living at the Roff House for 100 days. And the story goes that during that 100 days, Lorenzi's soul goes up to heaven to be healed, and Mary's soul is inhabiting Lorenzi's body. So during the 100 days, there isn't a whole lot said other than the things that I've mentioned here. But at some point, Mary goes, "It's time for me to leave. Lorenzi's coming back." She says her goodbyes, and the two basically swap. Lorenzi returns to her body and is now miraculously completely healed. So it's why it's dubbed Watseka Wonder, the spiritual miracle, because it is the very first documented spiritual possession in the country. Wow. Now, Lorenzi, she lives to be the ripe old age of 88. She moves to California because she wasn't, the right kind of celebrity you want to be in a small town near Chicago. And sure. I imagine it makes marriage prospects a little tough.
Sure.
So they go to California. She has, I believe, 11 kids, and they had kids, and they had kids, and they had kids. And that's essentially where the story ends. So, go ahead.
So, okay. Knowing, like, back then, medical stuff we didn't know a lot of medical stuff that we know now, right?
Right.
While you were, like, talking about, Lorenzi, it sounds like a documentary I watched on Netflix called The 24 Faces of Billy Mulligan. And this guy had 24 personalities. Now, the only difference is there wasn't a connection with somebody that had passed away and they knew all this information. That's the only difference. But I mean, as soon as he was a different personality, he was speaking Portuguese and fluently, you know what I mean? And, he was, and another one was a master escape artist. Like, he got out of prison 3 times and got out of a straitjacket. You know what I mean? Like, he could do all these things that the real person as himself couldn't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like,
well, and I imagine when they said that Mary was speaking in tongues, it was probably a language they just didn't understand.
Right.
So sure. I imagine she was probably doing the same thing, speaking Portuguese or Russian or something like that. And their parents at the time were just like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Right.
She's speaking the devil's language. No, it's Russian. Same thing, but different.
Right.
But different.
Yeah. But I mean, taking out the part where there was that connection with Mary.
Yeah.
Would it be crazy to say that it could have been multiple personalities?
If you were only looking at the story from back then, yes.
Okay.
We'll get to that part soon.
Okay.
So we have this story of the Watseka Wonder, right?
Yes.
And we wanted to film a documentary about the Roff House, getting the true story and investigating it, getting the spirits to talk for themselves, and doing our own seance because they were spiritualists. They held seance on the property, right? Hey, it's Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Yeah.
Brittany, by accident, I said Brittany Brickett and then I corrected myself very quickly. It was just the BR and then the B right after. So
a little trip up. That's all. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Sorry.
Just a little bit. So we decided we're gonna conduct our own seance, right? And I mean, you know me pretty well. Like when we do things, it's like go big or go home.
Right.
So we decided for our seance, we're going to have 150 people.
Wow.
All channeling into one medium.
Wow.
DeEtte. And
lucky medium.
Well, I mean, now when we look back on it, it's like, we probably should have did that differently. But at the time, she was like, yeah, no, I could totally do this. And then it was like, oh man, like after she got done, she like got to the car, got to the passenger seat, and then passed out.
Yeah.
She was so drained.
Yeah.
So we're doing this massive seance, and the original plan was to do this all-encompassing thing, right? Tell the history, view the house, do the investigation, do a little seance, boom, done. We're good to go. None of that happened. We did the seance, and it was so impactful that was so heartbreaking for some of these people's responses. That's what became the documentary. It was all about the seance now. So we covered the history, we talked about spiritualism, we talked about what a seance is, skipped all the investigating, straight to seance.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always, I see now I've been a part of a seance with Beth. Actually, she's in the chat right now with Beth. Beth O'Brien was the one that headed the seance that we did. I don't know anything about seances, and nor do I know, so I would never participate or be a head of a seance or anything like that. Like, I was there, I was filming it, you know what I mean? And I was recording and stuff, but watching what they were doing, I mean, it was pretty interesting. I mean, it was interesting. There were people there that, you know, weren't sold on that kind of stuff and then got sold on it because things came out and things came through, and, you know, watching that, I can't imagine 150 of that.
Well, not everybody asked questions. So I want to say we had approximately 30 or so. And then, unfortunately, not all of them could be in the documentary because we were outside. And I wanted the spooky factor. I'm a Leo. I like the drama of it all. So we used tiki torches to light the crowd. Well, if you're too far from the tiki torch and the camera can't see you, I can't include you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I think we kept in at least 20 plus though. So most of them were still kept in.
Yeah.
And like some of these people, the responses they got, you can totally tell they came into this skeptical and then went, oh man.
Yeah.
So, you know, for one, this guy, you know, came in and he was drama suits. Sorry, she got me off track. Wow. So this one guy, he was asking about a good friend of his brother, and just asking kind of generic questions. And then DeEtte asks where the gun is. And then he goes, oh, because apparently this guy probably shot himself or was shot by somebody else. And that totally caught him off guard.
Right.
And for her to bring that up.
Right.
And then towards the end, you know, Neal's like, hey, you know, you have any more questions? And you know, he basically goes like, you know, oh, well, what are you up to? And then DeEtte, 30 feet away from them, so not able to hear anything, goes about 5'9". And the guy loses it laughing. He goes, yeah, that's what he would say.
Oh, wow.
Like, so you got this really like, oh my God moment. And then this really light comical moment.
Yeah.
And it makes you go like, that was real.
Wow.
That was really real.
Yeah.
So that's the first doc. And I'm sitting on all of this footage now, the investigation, the psychic walkthrough, all of it. And I didn't use a single thing. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what am I going to do with this footage? And then we decided to do part 2, except this time we're going to do a small seance in the house where we're only talking to the spirits of the house.
Okay.
And this is where things get interesting. So during the course of the year, you know, Neal, who I partnered with on the doc, he does events in the Chicago area, and he does events out of the Roff House. In October of last year, he just happened to be doing an event where this group of 5 ladies showed up, and they turned out to be the great-great-granddaughters of Laurence Venom. And I just happened to be there that day, and I don't even remember why. I just happened to be there, and we're both like, whoa. And then we convinced them to join us for filming the next part.
Wow.
So unfortunately, like I don't need 5 people. I only need 2 because I only have so much space and so many microphones. So 2 of them come out instead of 5. And I kid you not, the 2 that came out, one of them is the spitting image to Laurence, and the other is the spitting image to Mary.
Wow.
So much so that we posted pictures of the 2 of them side by side, and it's like, holy cow, that's really like almost identical.
Wow.
So we get there, and these ladies are coming, and DeEtte has no idea they're coming because I'm like that, you know, like Brittany says, the drama that suits me.
But that's better. I mean, and I'm sure DeEtte probably appreciates that too, not knowing, so that, I mean, it helps validate her herself as well, you know.
she was the one that pointed out the resemblance to Larancy and Mary, because she immediately said, like, you look just like them. And that's when they go, well, we are the granddaughter, great granddaughters. And then it was just like, oh. So we have these blood relatives of one of the girls in the story, and we're doing a séance with them to try to contact their great grandmother. And we do. We get not only Larancy, we get Mary, and we get Eissler through the séance. And instead of 150 people, now it's 5. And now we're asking them to come forward and tell their version of the story, not the sensationalized version that the spiritualist book writer told.
Right.
And come to find out, the story was very different. Very different. So some of the things that Asa had said was that Mary, you know, in the documentation, it makes it seem like her episodes were happening later in life.
Right.
Asa told us that it was happening when she was 2 or younger. So it had been all her life almost.
Wow. Do you know when she died?
What's that?
No, not when did Mary? Mary's went to the asylum, right?
I want to say she died in,
like, how old was
1857, around the age of 17, 18.
That poor thing.
So
yeah,
some references say 17, some say 18. So
okay.
We go with 17 because that's what the owner of the house says, and he's really up to date on the history.
Okay.
So she died very young.
Yeah.
And he's telling us that, you know, she had these symptoms early on in life. And I asked him, like, you know, as a father, what was it like to watch your daughter go through this? And we got a father's response, not a generic spirit box response. We got the heartache of a father who had to watch his daughter go through that. And that was wild.
What did it say?
I can't remember everything now. but basically, you know, just talk about how difficult it was, because there's this stuff happening in front of you and you can't do anything about it.
Right.
Especially back then, because, you know, he was alive. He didn't have the answers. He didn't know.
Right.
And he made what we would call now the wrong choice by sending her to an asylum.
Right.
Which ultimately caused her death. And he feels guilt about that.
Right. But you know
which
what?
Totally makes sense.
They didn't know any better then. They didn't know any better then.
They did not know any better. They actually thought they were helping.
Right. Right.
So Asa said a whole lot more, and I'm not going to tease all of it, but there is one thing that I will say that changes the story quite a bit. Is Asa's talking about Larancy's time staying at the house there for that 100 days. And he doesn't refer to it as if, you know, Mary's there the entire time, because he makes mention of how difficult it is to watch Larancy be in that room. And you know, we start asking more questions about it and come to find out that Mary and Larancy inhabit the body together. Larancy's soul didn't go to heaven to be healed. It wasn't a full possession. It was what's called a walk-in, where another soul just inhabits the body too. Which, if you think about it, makes a lot more sense than a soul going to heaven
and coming back.
And then coming back. I thought the gates swung one way.
Right. Right. Well, you know, you do have a lot of people that have near-death experiences, and they've seen the light, and they've gone here and they've gone there. But you're right. Like, I mean, what you're explaining, that wouldn't happen, I don't think.
Right. And the question becomes, if she did go to heaven to be healed, what was the heal?
Yeah.
How was she healed? It is Neal. So, you know, it's very vague on to what the healing was. Well, if she didn't go to heaven and she inhabited the body with Larancy, well, that makes a lot more sense now. So we start talking to Mary, start talking to Larancy, and they're telling their side of the story about their experiences. And the story actually goes that Mary had spiritual abilities, and she was not able to control them. So through the course of her inability to control them, that caused a lot of problems for her. And then that's what led her to the asylum and eventually passing away. Larancy was going through the same thing. And Mary was there to help her control her abilities so she didn't end up like Mary.
Wow. Now
that's what the healing was.
Yeah, and that makes more sense. But yeah, you know what's crazy is back then too. I mean, was this around the time that maybe and I mean, I don't know what kind of what I want to ask here, but where it was believed that people were witches, even.
This would be the late 1800s, so I don't believe so as much because spiritualism was really taken over. So
Yeah.
I mean,
you
had a lot of fake psychics that people were calling out.
Yeah. So this was past witches.
I believe so. I believe so. I'm not up to date on my witch lore though, so someone might correct me on that.
Yeah, I mean, only because I say like I'm surprised they weren't burnt at the stake. You know what I mean? With speaking in tongues and doing all that, because then they would have, you know, a lot of people thought that was witchcraft, you know, witchery and stuff like that back then, you know?
Right. Well, and I think without the spiritualist movement, that could have been the case.
Right.
But because spiritualism had been going for a few decades now, that it's a little bit easier to be like, oh, it's just it's a possession. It's a spiritual possession.
Right. Spiritual.
It's a miracle.
Right.
So we get all these amazing responses from these two ladies and Eissler, and it changes the official story, but it changes it in a way that comes from the person that was there, the people that were there.
Right.
And unfortunately, because I've got so many other projects, I haven't done anything with the footage yet. It's going to be a while.
Have you seen any of it?
I was in the seance.
But I mean, so I want to know, like, if like during these seances and stuff, do you catch like real EVPs? Do you catch like anything?
Haven't gone through anything yet.
Okay.
It is a bit further down the docket list, so eventually we'll get to it. But it wouldn't surprise me because there are a lot of moments of quiet during the seance. Unfortunately, we also chose the one weekend where it was going to be like negative 20 degrees outside, and the radiators were going full blast, so the entire house is popping and creaking, and it's like, well, that could have been a footstep, or the house is trying not to give up on us.
Yeah.
So a lot of that will be discredited, but you know, for DeEtte to say the things that she did, like she wouldn't know this stuff. Right. You know, she doesn't know the story. Half the time she goes, "Oh wait, is that how that goes?" Yeah, that's what happened. So, you know, she goes in super cold on stuff. So it was interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people think about the story changing now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's interesting. I think it's cool for you to be a part of that, to be part of something like that and see that change and transformation and see how, you know, I'm sure everybody involved, I mean, even the family.
Yeah.
I mean, the family, how did they react to what you guys had prior and then what you found after? Like what was the reaction?
Prior to them coming to us, they'd only really known the story for a couple years. Okay. The family for generations had really kept it quiet and a secret. Mm-hmm. And even, you know, their older generations, you know, mothers and grandparents and whatnot, they didn't talk about it.
Right.
So, you know, these women now, you know, the great granddaughters, and then some of them have, you know, children too. Right. They're starting to get into it and figure it out, and it's a lot more accepted nowadays.
Right. Sure.
So they knew the gist of
a
lot. I know there's a lot of things they learned first time. What?
You froze for like 1 second, but you're back.
Oh, I'm back.
You're back.
There's things they learned for the first time, and then through the course of the seance itself, like I think they were in shock the entire time.
Yeah.
Because they really didn't say a whole lot.
Yeah.
But you know, we followed up and like, you know, what did you think? Like, did you get what you wanted out of this? And they were both like, oh yeah, we definitely did. So I mean, they were happy.
That's awesome.
So, but it kind of goes back to the original documentary we did, where the premise of us, you know, having this new story about this 150-person seance was we're conducting our own spiritual miracle by helping people alleviate the things that they're carrying with them, right, through our seance. But now in the second seance, we learn, well, it wasn't really a spiritual miracle, though. Like, It was just kind of more of a normal thing.
Right.
So it's like that even changes our documentary too.
Right. Right.
So, that's the amazing thing about history is just because you tell the story one way today doesn't mean it's not going to change tomorrow.
Sure.
New information comes out or you get a medium that allows spirit to talk through her, and all of a sudden you start hearing some really crazy things.
And that's stories change when new information comes out, when you find things out, a story changes. It has to change if new information is found out, and if new if new stuff comes out, if a new person comes into play, if new evidence comes into play, like obviously stories change.
Well, and sometimes you have to look at the author of the story too.
Sure.
We have Stevens, a spiritualist, who's writing the story about what happened. And just by reading it, you can totally tell it has a spiritualist bent. It's called the spiritual miracle, the Watseka Wonder. Like there's a little bit of a divine bend to this.
Yeah.
And how much of that story was sensationalized to sell his book?
Right.
What was left out that is really important to us today, but he's just like, well, it doesn't really sell the story that I want to tell, so we'll leave that out.
Yeah.
So, you also have to consider that just because the story is 150 years old doesn't mean it's 100% the truth, because you have to look at who wrote it.
Right. And then back then they weren't really good at documenting stuff.
Not really.
And they,
I mean, doctors should be.
Yeah. Right.
Should be.
Right. And they document, but if a doctor's like wrong about something, he may just crumple that piece of paper up and and throw it out and be like, yeah,
well, that never happened. So
yeah.
So in a nutshell, that is the first two projects, the Séance and the Séance 2, Bloodlines, because we're deep diving into their bloodline, connecting Loranci all the way up to Rachel and Dina, her great granddaughters.
That's so cool.
So that one I consider more of a light side project.
Well, and I just want to say, how crazy is it that you crossed paths with those two women? I mean,
Neal just was doing an event and they reached out, and
there was a divine intervention there somewhere.
Right. Well, not only that, but I happened to be there that night, and the two that showed up out of the 5 are the ones that look almost identical to the 2 ladies in the original story.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's where I think it goes past coincidence. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that goes past coincidence. What is it? I don't know what causes it or how that happened.
Sure.
It was written somewhere.
Well, and probably the last time you and I were on a show like this, my style's changed a lot.
Yeah.
How I do things has changed a lot. In the beginning, I was a lot more, we'll call it straight-laced.
Yeah.
A little bit more rigid with how I do things. And within the last year, my spiritual side has just exploded.
Right.
Completely caught me off guard, let me tell you. Was not expecting that. That wasn't on my calendar for 25.
Yeah.
But I've come to the point now where I recognize that certain things happen because they're supposed to. Right. We're getting ready to film the Séance, and DeEtte goes to me, I'm being told you have to be in this Séance. You're not running the cameras. You are sitting at the table. You need to be in the Séance. And, me from 2 years ago would be like, I need to watch cameras. I need to watch audio. Right. Everything needs to go off without a hitch.
Yeah.
But me today goes, okay, that's her guide telling her, or her spirit, the spirit we're talking to is telling her, you need to be here. Right. So I just went, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
And the story that's supposed to come out will come out. And that's exactly what happened. We didn't try to force the responses out of Mary, Loranci, and Asa. We gave them the room to give them, and oh boy, did they give them. So, like you said though, like it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
They were meant to be there. We were meant to ask those questions, and we were meant to get the responses to tell a different version of that story now.
So now you're saying this was the lighthearted.
Yes, this was the light one. Very divine and healing and spiritual miracle. And sunshine and rainbows and negative 20-degree weather.
Yeah.
That was horrible. But there's another big doc that I have. That's actually my current edit right now. It's called Mark of the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
This one is not light. This one is not sunshine and rainbows. This one is dark.
Well, Mark of the Trinity sounds dark.
Yes. So the Trinity is the Jericho Haunted Trinity. It is a property in north central-ish Wisconsin, up by Green Bay. It is a 3-building property with we'll call it a medium-sized Catholic church, a very small convent or a little house, rectory, and then a 4-room schoolhouse, all Catholic. And it was all part of this community, right? Jericho. And, most church communities, they had their stories, right? This one had a story about a priest who did things he really wasn't supposed to be doing. And, his spirit still haunts there. Mm-hmm. So my thought was, hey, Diddler, you're probably going to be the big bad when we get here. I'm not really too worried about it because I've tussled with him before. At the time of us filming Mark of the Trinity, I'd been there 3 times prior. And I'd gotten in his face, and he's a jerk. He's a jerk. But he's not evil. He was just a crotchety old man in life, and he's a crotchety old man in death. It's just tastes are disgusting, right?
Yeah.
So we get there, and Brittany takes the role of the psychic. She sees things, she feels things happen to her where it's like, well, that's kind of weird. So I do this completely cold turkey with her. I go to her house, 3 hours to the east to then drive 6 hours north, a 9-hour trip, which would have normally taken me 3 hours because she cannot know where we're going. So I pick her up, I bring her to the property. Her first experience stepping out of the car and walking through it, she starts going off with seeing all these things. And again, she doesn't know where we're at or what we're doing here. And I'm going, shut the hell up. I don't have a camera running yet. You need to stop. I need a camera. You're starting too soon. So we start walking through things, and she is just nailing stuff in these buildings. Absolutely nailing it. And I'm sitting there behind my camera like, yes, this is amazing. So we get to the attic of the convent or rectory or whatever you want to call it. It's where the nuns lived, right? And some people experience the spirit of a little girl up there. She's seen poking her head out of the window, looking outside. Except that's not what Brittany saw. Brittany saw somebody poking their head out the window, again, having no idea that's an occurrence. But it wasn't a little girl. It was this really creepy shadow figure.
So she has discernment.
I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Discernment, meaning that I will see a little girl and she'll see whatever it is for what it is.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So discern, you know what I mean? Like most people, I learned that in my training, where like there are some people that can the little girl will trick people thinking I'm a little girl and hi, come play with me and this and that, for lack of a better description. Whereas somebody with discernment would go, oh no. Don't go play with that.
100% has she 100% has that.
It's not a little girl.
So 100% that's true. Yes. Now I have a word for it. That's great. Thank you. Discernment.
Yes.
Discernment. So she sees creepy, crawly, slimy shadow, and I'm just like, ooh, that's new to me. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. We go through the rest of the building. She again nailing it over and over and over again. I'm just like, this is going to be an amazing project. We're hitting all the spiritual stuff. I know all the history. She's completely blind to it, but she's still nailing stuff. So the whole premise for this project was 1 hour solo sessions in a building by yourself. And we had this set up to where we had security systems going with, security cameras and all that stuff, tracking to make sure, hey, if she falls down, we know exactly where she's at. We can run over and get her. And then I was going to be in another building with the other security system so that, we're both being watched, but we're both completely alone for an hour.
Okay.
doing whatever we want to do, spirit box, cat balls, whatever. The security system goes down, and my half of the system doesn't work at all. So I can't be alone in a building without somebody watching me, because there are a lot of tripping hazards in this building. It's in an abandoned state. It's not safe.
Right.
So we have to abandon my sessions for the night, and we focus on Brittany's. Only, I think, 3 of her cameras were working. So we had to like pigeonhole her into this little area where we knew she was going to be safe, and then we had to move the cameras around to make it work.
Okay.
The whole time the system is fighting us the whole way. Just, it doesn't want to work. We're having recording issues, and it's like, okay, just plow through it. It's gonna be fine. Let's just get this done.
Yeah.
The first day she gets nothing. No spirit encounters. It's quiet. Nothing happens. So I'm over here losing my mind.
Right.
We had this amazing day, this amazing first impression. We get to the investigation. Wah wah.
Right.
It goes limp. Okay. Oh, so I'm now back at the B&B because the property doesn't have any showers or anything, and we want everybody smelling good, right? Because it's June.
Sure.
It's hot. We want to smell good. So everyone's showering and talking, and I'm just like, okay, what are we gonna do? How do we fix this? I come up with plan B and plan C, and by the time we're done filming, I'm on like plan M, because so much continued to go wrong.
Wow.
So we go into the second day, and new plan. We're gonna shift things around, and we're totally gonna work. So while she was supposed to be in the school, I'm supposed to be in the convent doing my whole 1 hour. And I go, listen, we can circumvent a lot of this. I'll just go to the attic where she saw the creepy thing, and I forgot about that. I'll go to the attic. I'll do an Estes. I'll just do an Estes for an hour. It'll be fine. And
that's
I go,
a long time.
That's what I normally do. Yeah. I can do hour-long Estes, and it doesn't affect me.
Oh, wow.
So I'm doing an hour Estes, and her building was the church now. That way, we're always in separate buildings and whatnot. My 1 hour Estes was one of the wildest experiences I've ever had. Tingling sensations in my legs from the knees down. A lot of really amazing responses, but the thing that was the weirdest was it happened to both Brittany and I at the same exact time. I got choked during my Estes.
Ew.
And I'm sitting and I'm like, my neck is really tight. I don't like this. Because the way that we started rolling our footage, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what she's doing at the same exact time, because everything is queued up.
Right.
When you go to her building in the basement of the church, she goes, there's something wrong with Larry. I need to get to him right now. As I'm getting choked out, she's going, there's something wrong.
Right.
So she leaves the church. And again, I'm in the attic where the dark, spooky thing that she just called out, I'm up there doing an Estes session now. Completely wide open and...
Yeah. So wait.
So
let me, I'm sorry to interrupt you really quick, but
okay.
Throughout the day with all this stuff is happening, right? All this stuff is happening. That's like, just, are you guys like sitting back and going, this doesn't feel right? Or are you guys just going with the emotions and you're like, okay, this is what we want to do? Like, are you guys just so focused on what you got to do that you're ignoring all the signs of all this stuff happening that's like not good?
Completely focused.
Yeah.
Because we're adjusting timetables now. Like, okay, so we're supposed to be doing B-roll and drone footage. We got to push that back to now fit this in. We're going to start a little earlier so I can do a solo session here. And we're just juggling, nonstop juggling.
Right.
And it all falls down anyway. So she actually leaves her building in the middle of my session to then come and check on me. And she goes, well, I walked in, and she tells me this. She goes, I could hear you upstairs. You sounded fine. So I went back into the church. And then a short time later, it happens again, where she's like, I got to go back. So she ends her session early. She goes back, and then I'm telling them about all these weird experiences I had about being choked and whatnot. But the weirdest thing was the last responses that I had gotten during my Estes. And it basically told me that me and her had to stay together the rest of the time that we're there. We can't do solo anymore. We have to stay together. So now we're making another change. We're changing again because we listen to spirit. They're telling us things for a reason. Okay, sure. So I didn't get to do the church, and she cut her session short. So we decided, hey, let's both of us go into the church basement. And there's
did you guys put pictures up? Were you guys somewhere where you put pictures up? She was like sitting on, there was like it looked like a big couch or like a U-shaped couch. Was that the place?
So that's the studio for our show, Ghost Clips and Chill.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but we did put a teaser up for Mark of the Trinity not too long ago that talks about this next part.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
So we're outside the church. We're just recapping, and we're talking about the fact that, like everybody is super affected right now. Like I'm affected. She's affected. We're filming with our friends, Jen and Mike. They're affected. Mike was throwing up. And Neal, who's normally just a very calm, like focused guy, because he was a corrections officer for 30 years. Like, he doesn't really get affected very much.
Right.
Oh, boy, was he affected.
Yeah.
He was very irritable. So, we're like, okay, well, we're going to go into the church. We were told to stick together. Let's go ahead and do this. It'll be fine. And then 20 minutes later, she's getting burn marks burned into her back in the basement of the church.
Wow.
And
this always happen when it's around, like,
that was my son.
Okay. All right.
He has an Xbox, so that should explain it all.
Okay. But why does it always happen? Like, why do you think things like this always happen around such highly spiritual, mainly Catholic for some reason? Right. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that a lot of stuff like this happens surrounding by Catholicism and very highly religious people or areas.
So there's a very common theory that churches especially are negative emotional deposits. So when I go to church and I'm just like, Father, for I have sinned, I did all this really bad stuff. You let all that negativity out and I'm cleansed, I'm healed now. Well, that negative energy's got to go somewhere. And, people tend to think that it convalesces in churches and then forms negative entities. They're not demons. They're just really nasty gunk.
Yeah.
So that's one theory. This is my theory. Now, I know when the owner of the building bought the property, he used it as a storage facility. So there was a lot of stuff in it. I also know for a fact that he removed the relic from the church. He still owns it. He has it. It's not in the church, though. He took it off of the church property without doing the special Catholic ritual that you should have done to remove it. And I think that by removing it in that way, it almost created a hole now where what was once consecrated ground is no longer consecrated and something really gross can come in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. Something really gross. That's not a demon. It's not a demon. There are other things besides demons.
Right.
But oh boy, is it gross and nasty. And it caused burns on Brittany's back.
So how did you guys deal with that?
We left.
But were you like did you do any cleansing? Did you do any did you guys have to do anything, you know what I mean, to protect yourselves from, and I know it wasn't a demon, but still, I mean, going through something like that, you know what I mean? Like
so we immediately, she's like, my back is burning. I lift up her sweater and I see the marks on her back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, we're done. You're getting hurt. We're getting out of here. We're done with this.
Yeah.
So we go back to the convent, and the security system that is up in the dining room where all the stuff is frozen. And it's frozen on the camera showing us leaving the property. And we're surrounded by this weird pink light that isn't coming from the camera because the camera is inside of the pink light.
Okay.
It's surrounding us. And when I talked to my friend Scotty Rorick, he had said that everything about that place is so backwards, that what was protecting us in the dark was actually our light, and the purple around us was the dark.
Oh, okay.
So whatever it was trying to swallow us.
Right. Was trying to get
in.
Yeah.
But so we're back, we're packing up, and Brittany's getting progressively worse until we realized that image was frozen on the screen. And when she would go near it, her back would start burning more, and the burns would grow bigger. So we end up getting her out of the house, and she starts feeling better. And it's like, okay, well, shit, all of our stuff's inside. There's stuff you need to bring back with us to the B&B. We're just going to get in, grab our stuff, and then go. As soon as she gets in front of that monitor to grab her stuff, it starts burning again.
That's weird.
So we just leave most of our stuff right then and there. And we're like, okay, we'll charge stuff tomorrow. We'll grab cards tomorrow. We'll download tomorrow. It's fine. Just leave it.
Wow.
Lock the building up. We go back to the B&B, and everything starts to get better. But I have pictures of these burns on her back.
Oh, wow.
And that's what became the mark of the Trinity.
Oh, gotcha.
Because she was all sorts of marked up.
And not being in the building, everybody felt better.
Right. Once we were off the property, everyone was feeling way better. So the third day, now we're during the day, and I need to do interviews. So we're doing interviews, and she starts getting burned again.
Wow.
So, Neal is splashing holy water on her, doing crosses all over the place. It gets better. But then just more and more and more and more stuff keeps happening over and over and over. To finally, we end the night with her. I don't even know how to describe it, but she was almost stuck in a trance state to where I had to carry her out of one of the buildings. And then at that point, I'm just like, project's done. We're done filming. We're getting out of here right now.
Yeah.
So we packed everything up. We left, and then that was it. Haven't been back since.
Wow.
But we're going back in June to get more filming done because I haven't learned my lesson yet.
And Brittany?
So she agreed. She is both equally nervous and excited.
You got to start that one with, it's Brittany, bitch.
Right. I'm back. And then it cuts to her running through the halls going, it's burning me. I got to get out of here. Like, yeah, you're back. All right. Literally, you're back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that one is it again. It's not a demon.
Who owns that property?
It's something else.
Who owns the property?
I don't know who owns it. But my friend Steven manages it, and I think their team is Warhorse Paranormal.
Have they had stuff like that happen? Like, can they relate to what you guys experienced?
Most people that have gone through the building, I believe, now that I have this term, they don't have discernment.
Right.
So they see the mom and pop ghosts.
Okay. So
yeah, but there are people that have told Steven and his wife about the darker things they've encountered.
Okay. So the people that see the girl, they're okay. It's when you can see it for what it is, it gets pissed off and doesn't like you, and wants you to go away because you can see it for what it is.
Right, and then straight up call it out, and then tell other people what it is.
Right.
So, and the funny thing is, like the whole time we were there, again, I'm expecting the diddler priest. He really didn't make an appearance at all. Mm-hmm. Not really. Just for a little bit during the day one time, but the rest of the time we're getting messed with all the shadows and all the other gunk.
Right.
And it's like, where have you guys been the 3 other times I've been here?
Right. It was crazy.
But I don't have discernment, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. Maybe they picked up that. Obviously, they picked up that she does have that discernment, so they were showing themselves as such.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, she does tend to get darker stuff drawn to her, and we never really we didn't know why. Like, why do all these shadow figures always mess with you? Discernment. Yeah. Because you can see them for what they actually are now. I have a new word. I'm excited now.
Yeah. I learned that back when I was training, about discernment, and I don't have it. I would be like you. I'd probably see the little girl, and I don't see anything. But I've seen a couple of things that I can't explain. But I'm not somebody that can see stuff and this and that. But If I could, I would be the one that, oh my God, little girl. I probably would see a kitten, actually. I'd be like, oh my God,
Sure,
little
sure.
cat, little kitty cat.
Look at this little kitty cat. And then really it's like this hellcat with like horns and snarling and look, it's so cute. Look at it. Look at it. So yeah, I don't see anything. So I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? Why am I getting attacked? Why are you getting attacked? I'm just like literally in the dark here.
Yeah.
Just going, okay, well, this project's kind of boned.
Yeah.
But then we all sit back and we talk about it, and it's like, holy cow, we got a lot of amazing things. We were getting attacked the whole time, and people were throwing up and getting burned and getting choked. But we got good footage, so yay.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, and at some point you got to say, like, I mean, you made the right choice, but at that point you're like, okay, is this really worth it? You know what I mean? Let's get out of here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, I mean, you do sometimes have to go back and face whatever it is, and you know, if it's not good, then you get out of there. I mean, the beauty of that is you can leave if it's really detrimental, and you know, because you know, you really don't want to risk hurting anybody for footage.
Yeah, you know? Right. No, and we definitely don't want to. Right. So when we do go back, it will be very interesting. We have to do more interviews.
You be prepared.
A lot more prepared. Not only that, but both her and I are, I don't want to say upgraded spiritually, but we've had a tune-up.
Yeah.
You know, so we know how to protect ourselves a little bit better now. And we also learned that things are better when her and I stick together. Mm-hmm. In all cases, not just in this case, but like, you know, when nasty stuff has happened, we just go stand by each other and we're fine. Right.
Well, I think that you come off as a protector.
I do have that. From what number one, I'm a Leo. Yeah. So, you know, I've got that fierce protective loyalty aspect to me.
Well, I'm sure. So I'm sure your vibe and your energy that you give off is, you know, even if something were to try to, you know, go at her, you're there. So it's a little less, it's reluctant to go after because you're there.
My friend Scotty, who can see auras and energies and stuff like that, he described my energy as encompassing. Mm-hmm. When I let it out, it expands like a gas. And anything within my energy is mine to protect.
Right.
And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Mm-hmm. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
But me 2 years ago would have been like, you're crazy. You're nuts. I don't believe anything you're saying right now. But me now, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of gassy. I get it. Sure. We had pizza for dinner, you know, like a little gassy. But yeah, so, you know, and her and I've talked about that, and with other people I've been with, I'm just like, hey, listen, if you're ever in any trouble, just come stand by me. Nothing's gonna affect you when you're by me. Yeah. Well, how do you know that? Because they don't affect me.
Right.
If I'm not getting affected and you're standing next to me, they're not gonna affect you.
Gonna, like, just run and like me. Spidey straddle you, be like, save me.
That's pretty much what she's done a few times. She's just like, nope, I'm just gonna stay here. All right, that's fine. So it works. And we were at one place where her and I were in the same room. And it's funny because, you know, we're both grown adults and there's only the one bed. So she's under the covers and I'm on top of the covers in my full clothes. Yeah. So I'm just like, you know, it's fine. We're just best friends. Not a big deal.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But like, we're both watching the shadows come into the room to try to get her because they were messing with her the whole night long.
Right.
So, you know, I end up like just being like, listen, she's in my bubble. You ain't going to get in here. You're not going to affect her. She ends up falling asleep. And then I could watch the shadows at the door, but they won't walk into the room. And I'm like, yeah, this is my room. Right. You stay the hell out.
That's right. And
this is my room.
Sometimes you have to claim it and you have to own it, and you gotta be confident in that.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of times it's the confidence that is the deterrent.
Well, and luckily I'm a Leo, so I got a whole bunch of that. A whole bunch of it, with a little bit of flair for the dramatic.
So when are these?
But yeah.
So when are these coming out? We don't know yet.
So the Séance, I don't know yet. I can't even start looking for distribution until after April with our last film festival submission. If I'm lucky, the end of the year. Mark of the Trinity, we're still in editing. We still have to do the interviews and get some more footage in June. I'm hoping that one will be done by the end of summer because there's a film festival I'm going in New Jersey, and I think we talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Where Brittany and I are going to be there because we're trying to showcase Mark of the Trinity at the festival.
Yes, in October, right? October, November?
Yes. I think it's like October 23rd or something like that.
That's right.
It's in Atlantic City, I think. Hey, it's DeEtte. So DeEtte is under the name Bear, and it's a super long story because Facebook hates her.
Yeah, Facebook.
So her like second and third attempt, she was basically impersonating herself. So she had to make an account based off of her friend Tim Bear's dog, Bear.
Aww.
So now she's Bear. So it always makes me laugh. Everyone's like, "Who's Bear?" That's DeEtte. She might be FF. So, but yeah, so I know we're already over an hour or so and talked a whole bunch about other stuff. But now, on top of all these other docs I'm doing, I'm also doing 2 episodics at the same time.
What is an episodic?
Episodic is a series, a TV show. Okay. So like mine and DeEtte, we're doing one. It's called Psychic Speedrun, and I believe we agreed it's a 12-episode run. So there's a good amount of episodes, right. And basically, in a nutshell, that show takes her in locations she's never been to before, and she has to read the building in 30 minutes. And the owner of the building is following behind us, taking notes about everything she gets right and wrong. And then she gets told, like, okay, so in your 30 minutes, you talked about this lines up with the history, yada, yada, yada. What makes the show really cool is as soon as that timer starts on her phone, there's a timer on the corner of the screen that counts down 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's a single 30-minute long cut.
Oh, wow.
There's no cutting in the middle. There's no shortening time. You literally watch her for 30 minutes straight, giving a true and raw reading of the building.
Oh, that's cool.
No magic. So, and we're going to do that 12 times. That's awesome. For this year, hopefully, if we can get 12 in.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm also doing Ghost Clips and Chill with Brittany, and that is our clip show where we take investigations we've conducted as a team for our team from Ashes to Echoes Paranormal, and we cut up into little clips, and then we talk about it during the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, here's when the team went to Waverly Hills, and let's look at Larry down in the death chute with Brittany when she belched into his face, and it was really funny.
Right.
That actually happened. I don't have a video for it though, damn it. But we're looking at really funny stuff like that.
That's cute.
So one of the first episodes that we did for that show is a place called the Hope Chapel Guest House, and that's the place with the couch that you were talking about.
The place looks so cozy.
It used to be a church.
So it looked like a church. That's why I thought that's the place. You know what I mean? I thought it looked like it.
Yeah.
And it looks so cozy.
It used to be this little chapel. It's now an Airbnb, and their couch is perfect for the show. So our first investigation was that building because it's also haunted. Right. And one of the ghosts in the master bedroom that Brittany and our other co-founder Cindy sleep in has a foot fetish.
Oh.
And we talked to him about his foot fetish, and even got Cindy to take one of her socks off. And he was very excited. And that's some of the clips we get to talk about on the show. I wouldn't be
doing it. I hate feet. I got cute feet, but
he was all for it.
I'd like, leave my feet alone. Actually, I might do it. I might do it for evidence. You know what I mean? I might do it for that purpose, but that would be it.
he was saying the craziest things. Like Cindy was like, I don't know about this, guys. Like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And then the spirit box is like, come on, ladies, hurry it up. And I'm just dying, going like, they can't hear this, but I can because I have headphones on.
So funny.
And like once she starts taking her sock off, and then they go, what are your favorite toes? And then I kid you not, the spirit box goes, pinkies.
Ew.
And I'm just like, oh my God, it actually said a toe.
Oh. No.
So we encountered a foot fetish phantom during our investigation. So
Larry says we all need to do an episode of Larry's expressions when things happen.
So that's actually a part of mine and DeEtte's show. You know, because while she's doing what she's doing, I'm following her with the camera, right? And you don't always get to see me going, holy crap, she got that one right on the head. Right. So there's a little camera that points at my face, so you can see me going, oh, 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 okay. Oh, got that one. Just so you can see all the funny faces I make. When we were doing our first location, which was a bar and grill with an apartment on top of it, I'm a big guy. You've seen me in person. You know, I'm not small. I'm, you know, about 6'2", and my shoulders are like 52 inches wide. This stairwell was my size.
Yeah.
So I'm like squeezed into the stairwell. Well, my camera rig goes up like 6 inches above my head. And then when you get off the stairs and you turn the corner, the roof is slanted. So all you see is me on the camera going like this, trying to not hit the ceiling and dent the roof. And like it was, and then I'm trying to go down the stairs and I don't fit anymore. So I'm like getting all sideways, and it's like, but it's all within the 30 minutes. It has to be included. Yeah. It's a one shot.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the experience, and you get to laugh at me trying to fit in these spots with all this camera gear. But it's all raw.
Yeah. I like that.
So, and then same with the clip show. The investigations are raw. Yeah. You know, the clip might be a minute long, but there's no sound effects. There's no suspense. It's just, this is the investigation clip. There it is.
And I like that. I like that better than the edited stuff. You know what I mean? Actually, so I love watching Jay Halls. I love watching his stuff. You know, even that's edited, but it still is good. It's good.
Yeah.
But I love watching the real stuff. Like I like watching raw stuff because I mean, that's what I do. If I tried to go live during our investigation at West Hill Manor a couple weeks ago, my reception was terrible. However, I was filming, not filming, but I had my phone and I was going around showing everybody. I discovered YouTube Shorts, how you can record for 3 minutes. You can record for 3 minutes, you know, and I was going, and to save some time between each floor, I would stop recording and then I would start to record as I would go to the next floor. Well, in one of the clips, which I think I shared on YouTube, so anybody can go look for it, but I'm going up the stairs and I say upstairs twice. I'm like, upstairs. And all of a sudden I hear, careful. You hear this EVP, like, which I EVP because it wasn't, I was alone. I was walking around by myself. And I just said, careful. You know, like.
Was there a reason for you to be careful upstairs?
I don't know if it was saying be careful because I was walking up the steps or going upstairs. I have no idea. It just said careful is all that was said, and you can hear it. It's you know, and then you can everybody else. I was going up to the third floor. Everybody else was on the first floor, and you can hear a real person yell my name like right after it, like, "Hey, Taryn." So you know, you can tell the difference between a person that was physically there as opposed to what this voice sounded like. You know what I mean? Like you could tell that.
Well, and if you look at the waveform, usually even people that are far away, they still appear on the waveform.
Yeah.
You know, most EVPs don't.
Yeah.
They appear down in the noise where we have to bring it back up to appear in the waveform, but most responses are buried down in there.
And it sounded, and there was no men, but it sounded like a male. It sounded like a male voice. So
yeah, I think I'm the only male Peach.
Yeah, you're the only male Peach.
Yeah, I did it.
Kenny Biddle might argue that, but
we're gonna wrestle, Kenny. We're gonna
Kenny might argue that, but yeah.
You better look out, buddy. I hope you're not going to the bash because we're gonna wrestle.
Kenny's gonna be like, I have a peach cup.
I don't. We're gonna have to have a talk, Taryn. We're gonna talk.
Yeah. So Kenny has a peach cup. He has his name Kenny with a peach on it. So he has a peach cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I see how I list in the order here.
He got that cup a long time ago, though.
Okay.
Before I knew you, that makes it any better.
Maybe. Are you going to the bash this year?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'll be at the bash. You'll be there?
All right. Brittany and I are going. We're doing our talk together. I don't know when. At some point. At some point in the weekend.
Yeah, last bash we never made it out to the battlefield together to use the Phasma box or anything.
Phasma.
So yeah. I want to.
Yeah, you were indisposed.
I still want to do that.
Yeah, we can definitely do it.
Hopefully we can do that this time because I would love to.
Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to be listed on the VIP poster for this year, and I didn't make it on there, so I don't know if I'm in the VIP party or not. So if I'm not, then I'm not gonna go.
And then we can go battlefield it.
And we'll go battlefield.
Yes, I love it. I'm into that. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Well, we've been on for an hour and 20. Is there anything though? Obviously, we can go longer. If there's anything that you want to talk about or bring up or discuss.
Oh,
that we have.
I've
or that you did
talked about so much.
Yeah, you did.
So I mean, yeah, I could talk a little bit about the team. Brandy popped in earlier. Brandy Miller, who was on 28 Days Haunted, she's on our team. So me, Brittany, and our friend Cindy were the three founders. We call ourselves the Spooklets because we have all this. Oh no, where is it? This little spooklet tattoo.
How cute.
It's adorable. So and then we kind of focus the team around a lot of film stuff for the show and getting reels and we focus on just the fun of the paranormal.
But you know what though, even through all of this, you telling all this, even with the stuff at the Trinity stuff, it's going to sound bad because that doesn't sound fun, but you're having fun together. You guys are together.
Oh yeah.
So you guys are having fun together.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I like the most about what I do. No one's said anything yet, but I'm sure people have realized like you kind of work with DeEtte and Brittany a whole lot. Yeah, they're my best friends. Yeah. Of course I work with them a lot. Why would I not want to work with my best friends?
Absolutely. I mean, the Peaches are my best friends. Why would I not want to work with them? Why would I want to be with them all the time and investigate with them all the time?
Exactly. So, and DeEtte is a lot more busy because she does events like every weekend around the country. So I don't get to partner up with her as much. I have to do stuff with her on weekdays. But with Brittany, because she is a behind the camera talent as well, I can go to her and be like, hey, so I just got approached about a UFO doc. And now we're both doing the doc. Yeah. Or, she'll be like, hey, someone just approached me about this really awesome documentary they want to do down south. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And that's how it happens. We have so many projects this year because it's like I just want to do it with her. And or I want to do it with DeEtte.
And that's how it works. You find your people and then that's that. You know what I mean? And that's all you need.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, even though I'm always working with Brittany or I'm always working with DeEtte, that doesn't mean there isn't room for collaborations.
Are you offering me? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just
I gotta find something to get out that way for.
I'm just an investigator.
I'll find something to get me to New Jersey. Don't you worry. I'll find something. And then I'll be like, look, I'm with more of my best friends. This is the perfect job. So I get to travel and then work with my best friend on the East Coast. And then I'm going to bring one with me who's going to be like, the drive's really far. Suck it up. We're going.
Let's go. It is far.
But yeah, like, her and I are really big on collaboration, so we're always looking for people to come in and be like, "Hey, listen, I know this is a team thing, but you want to join us?" And then we work with other people and be like, "Okay, that's a really cool thing that you did there. We're totally going to steal that. That's going to be a technique we're going to try now."
And that's the fun part when you work with other people too, is that, my guest I had on last week, I mean, we met Eissler Paranormal. They're from Tennessee, just by accident at Wildwood Sanitarium. And that was when I was introduced to the Estes method. I mean, that was was so long ago. And some of their techniques of how they investigate, and and even he was saying, and we watched some of the way you guys investigated, and you learn from each other, and
I was introduced to Estes a while ago, and then I met Mike and Eric from Florida with their Delco goggles. And I'm like, "What's the Estes? We're doing the Delco experiment now." And until the goggles shorted out, actually, Mike, I have to send them to Mike to get them fixed. But I always use the Delcos because I'm just like, that's my thing now. I'm making this my thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah. With DeEtte said, I'm bringing her and Brittany to the South thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, my best friends. Come on. We're doing the thing.
And see, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it so fun. Even the road trips, even if they're long, if you're with the people that you have fun with, it's not bad. It's not that bad.
Well, and you got to think, like, for me to go to Gettysburg, that's like a 10+ hour drive, 10 or 11 hour drive.
Literally die.
It hurts.
I would die if I was that far away from Gettysburg. I really would.
I think when I came to New Jersey to see you that one time, I think that was a 17-hour drive.
So crazy.
That was a rough one.
That
was really rough.
New Jersey. I'm sorry. Born and raised. I've lived here my entire life. I'm allowed to say that I hate New Jersey and I think it sucks. I'm allowed to say that. Most people are like,
sure.
I can't stand it. So yeah.
I got paid to be at an event there, so like it was tolerable. Like the event was great. New Jersey, it's all right. It's okay. The food was good.
Thank you.
Food was good. And the company was even better.
Oh, thank you.
I got to meet you and the hubby, who looks just like Steve Austin.
Everybody tells him that.
He's spitting image.
We walked up. We literally were somewhere last weekend, and they were like, "Are you? What's his name?" He gets it.
Steve Austin.
Is it Sean Austin? No, Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Are you stone cold? And are you stone cold? Are you Steve Austin? And he's like, he's a lot bigger than me. Trust me, because
But if he was ever in a movie and needed a stunt double,
everybody tells him that. People that we don't even know.
I'm just saying.
The guy at Walmart stops him. He was like, "You look just like Steve Stone Cold." And he's like, "I'm not, and I don't got his money, and I'm not."
Yeah. Well, there's money on the table if he ever needs a stunt double. Just saying. There's money on the table.
Tell him that. But yeah, so yeah, it. But like I said, if you're traveling you were traveling by yourself to come to that. I can't even imagine.
Most of the time, I do. Yeah.
So when you travel, if you're with people that you absolutely adore and love and you have fun with, it's
well, and this year it's going to be great because Brittany and her husband Billy have invested a lot of money into 3D printing, and we're designing things to sell to raise money for the team so that the team doesn't have to pay for Airbnbs and investigations anymore.
That's nice.
Which is great because like, okay, we were going to go investigate. It's $125 for the investigation and $100 for the Airbnb. So you got to pay $225 each. Yeah. Or we just go and sell a bunch of stuff and be like, "Hey, the team's got it.
Yeah,
we're good."
No, that's awesome.
Like that's nice.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's nice.
I wish I was talented like that to be able to do that. To be able to do stuff.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Oh my God. So I do a lot of the graphic design. And then I'll send it off to Brittany to be like, "All right, what do you think?" And then, if it's good, she sends it to her husband Billy, who then does the printing. And then it goes back to Brittany to assemble. And then we stock it all up, and then her and I end up doing most of the traveling to all these events to go and sell it all.
Yeah, it is a lot.
So kind of like what you said before, like I have a travel buddy now.
Yeah, that's fun. That's so fun.
It's great.
Sage, no, I did not get my 12-foot skeleton yet. I haven't got any.
Oh, all this talking is drying me out.
Yeah. The last time you talked to your hubby into that giant, I have not. No, he's still. That's why I have all these skeletons behind me in my room. I said, I'm just going to keep collecting skeletons until you let me get my 12-foot skeleton. I mean,
that's right.
They're going to be all over the freaking house before I'm done.
He'll have to cave eventually.
Yeah, he's going to be like, all right, no more skeletons. Let's go get the 12-foot, put all these other.
We'll get the last one. Done.
Yes.
One more. That's it.
I just want my 12-foot. I want my 12-foot skeleton so bad. But yeah, Larry, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much for.
I always have a great time with you.
I know, we have so much fun. I can't wait to see you with the bash, and then in October, the bash.
It's gonna
hopefully
be great.
We get to go out into the battlefield and do some ghosty searching.
We should.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not on the poster, so like I'm not in the VIP this year, so I should have the time to go on Friday then.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, what? Yeah. I that'd be the perfect time.
Yeah. No, just don't get absconded with again by the Peaches into a surprise bridal party or whatever.
I know.
It was party.
My Peach Lorette party is what they called it.
Peach Lorette. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Can't do that again. Can't do that again.
Larry had plans, and then I was surprised that the first day I walked into my hotel room, the whole room was decorated with Peaches stuff and Peach Lorette, and they surprised me with a Peach Lorette party and took me on an investigation and did all to dinner and everything. And I was like, Larry, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
She comes up to me in the lobby of the hotel and she's like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm like, what? She's like, I can't go out. I'm like, it's fine.
I'm like,
it's okay. I didn't drive 11 hours to get her or anything. I'm not going to be back for another year, but it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad, but I had no idea. I'm like making these plans, and we're like, but I had no idea. They totally surprised me. So,
I mean, if there's one thing, well, I guess there's a few things, but one of the things that would be a good one to have an excuse for.
For sure. It was amazing. They're such good girls. I love them all to death.
Yeah. And thankfully, Stone Cold is one of my favorite wrestlers from back in the day, so it worked out. It's okay.
Totally worked out.
It's all right.
Well, I love you, my friend, and
I love you too.
So much for coming on and sharing your stories and sharing the stuff you're working on. And I wish you the best. I hope that everything comes out great. I can't wait until we finally get to see some of the documentaries and see some of the stuff that you're working on. I look forward to that.
I'm so ready.
Yeah,
I'm so ready.
I look forward to it. And
it's just it's a long process, and you're kind of at their mercy.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm rooting for you, and I hope you guys have like a great time, and I hope everything works out and we eventually get to see everything.
We will. It'll happen eventually. So, because that's what Spirit wants. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Wow. All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you so much for coming on. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming on. Please, if you can, share this out for Larry and all of his stuff. I just, not for the brew, but for my guest and all everything that he's got going on. Please, Larry, where can people find you and see stuff at?
The best place is going to be Facebook. It is with that name, but there's a blue check mark. That's how you know it's me. I also have an Instagram that's tied to it. So, you find one, you find the other. I have a TikTok. I'm not super active. I have a YouTube. It's mostly for.
Oh, hold on. He went off and came back on really quick.
Uh-oh. That was weird. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Facebook, Instagram. I have a TikTok and a YouTube. I don't really use them very much.
Yeah.
The team from Ashes to Echoes Paranormal has a Facebook and an Instagram. We just launched our merch store, which also helps fund things for the team. Then sometime in the next week or so, there's going to be an Etsy with all of our 3D printed stuff. And then all of that money goes to the team as well.
That's awesome. That's
so, or future film projects involving the team.
Awesome.
So just ways for us to get everybody out there.
Yeah. And that's amazing. So please, everybody, go like and share and follow and whatever you got to do for Larry, and share the show out, not for Paranormal Brew, but for Larry and everything that he's doing.
And for Taryn too.
I do my show to help, to get, to spread my friends and, for people to, get you guys out there. Not really for me. I just love the compliment.
Yeah. Well, if you're also a believer in angel numbers, my phone right now says it's 2111. So it's a 111.
Nice.
So if that's your thing, that is the number.
Well, I kind of have a thing for numbers, so I'll take that as a little hello. A good sign. So thank you so much, love. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
You're the best. And until next time, everybody, sweet dreams.